With Robert Downey Jr.'s iconic iteration of Tony Stark seeing his swan song in Avengers Endgame, and Chris Evans passing on Captain America's iconic shield to Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson, the once iconic faces of the MCU are now passing their legacies into the hands of the likes of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff, and Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange. But is it possible that the Sorcerer Supreme actually has more experience than any Avenger to date, living or dead? Stick with us, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, as we break down exactly why Doctor Strange is actually the most seasoned and battle-hardened Avenger in the MCU, and likely will remain so until the Eternals make their long-awaited debut. The first we hear of Doctor Strange in the MCU is in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, when he is name-dropped by Hydra operative Jasper Sitwell. But he wouldn't go on to make his live-action MCU debut until his own solo film in 2016. When we are introduced to him, he is simply a talented surgeon with no mystical or combat experience at all. Throughout the course of the film, he grows to learn the ways of the sorcerers at Kamar-Taj, and become a talented sorcerer in his own right, able to fight off Caecilius, outsmart Dormammu, and go toe-to-toe with Thanos on the ruined moon of Titan for a short time. By the time of his debut, however, the MCU had been in full swing for 8 years. Captain America had seen years of combat in World War II, and Thor had been battling the foes of the Nine Realms across the galaxy for centuries. So how is it possible that the 36-year-old Strange was able to accumulate more experience than even the God of Thunder in such a short period of time? The answer, my friend, lies in the Time Stone. In Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange uses the Time Stone to see 14,605 different probabilities for the outcoming conflict with Thanos, a conflict that we know took 5 years to come to full fruition. Even if we assume that he just saw the key details of each fight, this would still result in him effectively watching Infinity War and Endgame 14,605 times, because we know that he had to see specific details with great scrutiny, down to why giving up the Time Stone was the best option and how it would effectively pay off. And it's highly possible that many of these possible variations took far longer. He had to seek what came after the timelines where Quill didn't attack Thanos, where Thor went for the head, or where the Avengers were seemingly victorious in any other way, viewing all of them in order to decide that the future we saw in Endgame was truly the best possible. After all, there was a reason that these futures were considered failures. There were reasons why Thor couldn't go for the head, or why Quill had to attack Thanos, but the exact reasons are not yet known to the audience. So why couldn't Thor kill Thanos in Wakanda? And why couldn't Strange hold Quill back long enough for Tony Stark and Peter to get the gauntlet off of Thanos? Because the Infinity Stones had to be destroyed. It's possible that the Infinity Stones had to be destroyed in the opening minutes of Endgame, because otherwise they'd continue to wreak havoc across the universe as they're sought after by other power-hungry individuals. After all, this is supposedly the first time since the Big Bang that all 6 Infinity Stones have been assembled in one place. That level of extraordinary power would be sought after by others, conquerors, and tyrants of the universe, and would likely, at some point, fall into the wrong hands and cause even more destruction than Thanos' purge. There are those that exist in the Marvel Universe with worse intentions than the Mad Titan. It is possible that Doctor Strange has battled more intergalactic foes than even Thor himself, as he saw the beings who would come to collect the stones after word circulated around the universe that they were finally all together, and their legend was spread. The stones needed to be destroyed for any timeline to be considered a victory, because in any scenario where Thanos died and the stones were left intact, the ruin that they would cast over the universe and the devastation they would cause was far worse than anything that the snap could compare to. Many of these scenarios likely introduced other galactic threats that sought the power of the stones in all the timelines where they still existed, and Strange deemed these outcomes too cataclysmic to be acceptable. If Doctor Strange spent, say, 3 hours per possibility on the average as a generous estimate, then he would have spent 42,001,815 hours battling the Mad Titan, losing, resetting, battling all over again, and losing in another scenario. If this number is accurate, then that would mean that Doctor Strange spent 4,794 years in conflict. An average Asgardian's lifespan is only 5,000 years. Thor is 1,500 years old. Odin had not seen that much conflict in his lifetime, as he was nearly 5,000 when he died, and there was no way he was seeing combat at 200 years old, seeing as 200 is infantile to Asgardians. The Sorcerer Supreme has likely seen more conflict than the All-Father Odin himself. Now with the multiversal war on the horizon, and the impending arrival of King the Conqueror, Doctor Strange is set to be on the front lines, leading the charge against complete multiversal calamity. The idea that he's possibly seen millennia of conflict against other formidable intergalactic beings can bring some semblance of reassurance to the apprehensive MCU fans, who are eagerly awaiting the breakout of the next multiversal war. King the Conqueror bears potentially the greatest threat that the MCU has seen to date, surpassing that of even the likes of Thanos, and the leader of Earth's mightiest heroes must be able to fight off one of the most powerful interdimensional tyrants, the likes of which the multiverse has never seen. Does this experience give Doctor Strange the capability to stand up to the likes of Kang and the multiversal conflict? Only time will tell. Anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this theory, and these massive facts regarding Doctor Strange and looking into the future with the Time Stone? What do you think about the theory that all of the Infinity Stones had to be destroyed, and that even in Infinity War, if Tony Stark and Peter had gotten the gauntlet away from Thanos, or that if Thor had gone for the head, they still would have lost due to all of the stones already being assembled? Also, what do you think of Doctor Strange being the most experienced Avenger? Not just by a little margin, but by a massive one. Do you think that Doctor Strange has more experience than he is letting on? And if so, do you think it will be enough to stand up to the many multiversal Kangs that are set to start appearing in Ant-Man 3? As always, my friends, I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.